Good morning and welcome, you brave souls, to your daily dose of reality, filtered through our particular brand of cynical commentary. It is Thursday, September 25th, 2025.
And we've sifted through yesterday's news, Wednesday the 24th, so you don't have to soil your morning coffee with raw, undiluted mediocrity.
Exactly. Welcome to Bad Things Well Said Icelandic Newsroom. We take the bureaucratic nonsense and the general absurdity, break it down, and hand it back to you slightly more digestible. Maybe.
Our job, really, is to arm you with just enough insight and, let's be honest, sarcasm to face the day. To understand why things are the way they are. Usually it involves spreadsheets and a distinct lack of common sense.
And hey, if you appreciate someone else doing the wading through the sludge for you, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. It helps. It really does.
Okay, let's dive in. The big theme today. Bureaucracy versus, well, actual existence. Starting with the government's latest administrative spring cleaning. The war on smallness.
Yes. The proposed tweaks to the Local Government Act, giving the minister power to forcibly merge municipalities with fewer than 250 people.
250, that's the magic number below which you apparently cease to be a viable democratic entity and become, well, an administrative inconvenience.
It's like local government by algorithm. If population 250, then merge. Forget history, forget identity, forget people.
We're talking about just 7 communities left hanging on by a thread. Places so small they're practically footnotes on the map already.
The scale is just chef's kiss. Absurd. Take Arna-Shrupper, population 47.
47?
Right, you could literally change the entire political landscape if, like, one large family feud results in half of them moving to Kópavogur.
Or if a particularly enthusiastic birdwatching club decided to register residency, it's democracy on a knife edge, facing a bureaucratic bulldozer.
And you have to mention Aja Og Mikkelholtrepper, population 110. Their name is basically a short story, but their population wouldn't fill a moderately sized lecture hall. They're on the chopping block because they don't fit the spreadsheet model of efficiency. But efficient for who, exactly? Not the people living there, I'd wager.
Then there's Arna-Shrupper, Pop 109, home to the Museum of Icelandic Sorcery. Maybe they need to, whip up a quick curse to protect themselves from the ministry.
You joke, but look at the Skoradal-Shrupper situation recently. Population 75.
Oh, yeah. That was messy.
They had a merger vote so tight, so contested, they had to call in the police to verify who actually lived there legally, just to stop any funny business with voter registration.
That's not local democracy. That's bordering on farcical. Police verifying residency for a village meeting. It's like a Bergman film directed by the Monty Python crew.
But isn't there some pragmatic argument here about the cost of services for so few people?
You could make that argument, sure. If you ignore history completely, go back to the 12th century, Gragas, the old law code.
Right.
Back then, a parish needed at least 20 farmers to be viable. That's probably, 400 people minimum, maybe more, with families and workers.
So, 800 years ago, the minimum standard for a functioning community was nearly 10 times what we're now calling inefficiently small.
Exactly. We're not arguing about keeping thriving towns independent. We're administering the final decline of places often hollowed out by decades of centralization anyway. This isn't about efficiency, it's about tidying up the remnants.
Okay, so from tidying up the map to tidying up the language, or maybe watching it unravel, let's talk about the Icelandic language crisis.
Yeah, this one feels heavier. You've got professors now sounding genuine alarm bells, saying Icelandic is truly at risk in certain areas.
The prediction being English becomes the main language in the labor market by mid-century. That's wild.
It's less erosion, more like a potential flash flood. The lingua franca of global business washing over the language of the sagas. It's a cultural Mad Max waiting to happen, maybe less leather, more laptops.
And the official response, it's Peak Iceland, the language technology program.
Right. Massive investment, open source ambitions, cooperation with OpenAI, the very creators of the GPT models that kind of fuel the anxiety in the first place.
It's using the Borg to fight the Borg, isn't it? We're training AI in Icelandic to help Icelandic compete with the global dominance of, platforms that rely on AI.
The irony is just delicious. Billions of króna teaching machines to sound like us, hoping they'll somehow save us from sounding like everyone else.
But then there's the writer situation. The compromise with the writers' union.
Yes. The fear that AI will just hoover up novels and spit out copies, stealing styles. Understandable fear, I guess.
So the solution is to shred the literature.
Basically, yeah. They agreed to only feed the AI literary texts in fragmented 500-word chunks. to stop it learning any specific author's overarching style or narrative structure.
So we're saving Icelandic literature from AI by digitally dismembering it first. That's quite the strategy. Preemptive deconstruction.
It's protecting the artistic soul by feeding the machine literary confetti. You have to admire the creativity of the compromise, I suppose.
But while we're tangled up in this high-tech, high-concept battle against the Anglosphere, what's happening on the ground with, actual kids learning to read?
And that's where it gets really depressing. The Reykjavik second-grade reading test results from back in April.
Go on.
7% of those kids, 7%, that's 88 children in Reykjavik alone, achieved between 0 and 30% success. 0 to 30.
Oh, wow. That's not just struggling. That's practically illiterate in their own language.
Exactly. They need serious individual help.
Yeah.
So you have to ask, why are we pouring fortunes into teaching AI Icelandic nuances when nearly 1 in 10 kids in the capital can barely decipher the basics?
We're building this incredibly sophisticated digital arc for the language.
While the kids are back on shore and some of them don't even have paddles, let alone know how to swim, the priorities seem, shall we say, inverted. It's a national embarrassment hiding behind technological ambition.
Okay, deep breaths. Let's move from existential crises to more tangible failures, the water-cooler topics. Small shocks, big disappointments. First up, manicures and misery.
Right. The investigative report into dodgy nail and beauty salons, operating without proper licenses, master certificates, the works.
But the real horror story is the exploitation angle, isn't it?
Absolutely stomach-churning. Vietnamese workers allegedly charged up to 9 million ISK by their employers. 9 million. For specialist work permits they didn't actually qualify for or possess.
9 million krónur. That's life-altering debt just to get in the door. It's essentially indentured servitude, isn't it? Paying for your own exploitation.
And the report connects the methods to the big Kwang Lo human trafficking case. It points to this massive regulatory loophole. You need the certificate to operate legally, but apparently the checks during the licensing process by the health authorities are, let's say, superficial.
So the paperwork looks okay, maybe, but nobody's really checking the substance. Classic.
And the kicker. The police have known about these issues for 3 years. 3 years.
3 years, and these places are still operating.
Many of them, yes. The labor agency supposedly tightened up diploma checks last year, but the enforcement, well, it seems slow. It's systemic failure by bureaucratic inertia. We're great at identifying problems, terrible at actually stopping them.
Speaking of systems failing, Wednesday's power outage. The big one.
The great Reykjavik blackout of 25. For a thrilling few hours anyway. Everyone bracing for news of a volcanic hiccup or a freak storm.
And the cause. The dramatic, unpredictable force majeure.
Nope. An error during, wait for it, daily operational work.
Oh, for goodness sake, someone tripped over a plug. Spilled sky on a crucial console.
We don't know the details, but it wasn't seismic or meteorological. It was mundane human error. Or maybe just boredom. It's the perfect metaphor, isn't it? Our hyper-modern, robust infrastructure brought to its knees by sheer, boring routine.
The fragility of complexity. Built to withstand Ragnarok, felled by a Tuesday afternoon slump.
And naturally, there was a hierarchy of suffering. Power came back faster for most, but who waited the longest?
Let me guess. Somewhere expensive.
Vesterberg and Seltjarnarnesia. Of course. Maybe they figure the residents there have better candle collections or backup generators powered by artisanal whale oil.
Right. Okay, next up. A different kind of suffering. Self-inflicted this time. The ultra runner.
Ryan Keeping, the Canadian guy trying to run the entire ring road, 1,300 kilometers in under 16 days and 10 hours. That's over 100K a day.
He says it's how he expresses himself, by running until his body presumably screams for mercy.
And encourages everyone to chase what sets your soul on fire, which in his case seems to involve significant risk of setting his tendons and ligaments on fire. Literally.
Look, endurance is one thing, but this cult of extreme, painful, potentially damaging feats, it feels very Western hustle culture gone wild. Like, if you're not destroying yourself for fleeting glory, are you even living?
Someone commented, and they absolutely nailed it, questioning the ethics of taking inspiration from someone who openly admits they get injured and refuse to stop.
Exactly. Your soul isn't on fire, mate. Your joints are. Call a doctor, have a bath, maybe take up knitting.
It's performance art disguised as athletic achievement. Sisyphus, with a sponsorship deal, and very expensive shoes.
Okay, finally, let's pivot to the global stage versus the local reality. Performative grief versus practical neglect.
This one's sharp. Our foreign minister was at the UN General Assembly yesterday. Big stage, global audience.
10.
reportedly got close to tears listening to a story about a Palestinian child. A very visible, very immediate emotional response to international suffering.
Okay, empathy is good, right?
Yeah, empathy is good. But let's juxtapose that highly public display with the reality back home. Citizens who need user-controlled personal assistance NPA. That's essential support for people with significant disabilities to live independently.
People like Haraldur Horleifsson, who's been vocal about this, what's the situation?
The wait time for that essential life-enabling service can be up to 7 years.
7 years.
7 years. So, you have tears on demand for a global tragedy at the UN versus a 7-year bureaucratic purgatory for your own citizens needing basic support right here, right now. Which suffering is actually within your power to alleviate?
Wow. That's a brutal comparison.
It tells you everything about where the political rewards are, doesn't it? Global visibility trumps local responsibility. Tears on the world stage are easier, apparently, than fixing a broken system at home. When you can't deliver competence, maybe performative compassion is all you've got left.
Grim, Ely. Okay, well, after all that man-made chaos, let's look at some predictable natural chaos. The weather.
Right. Get ready for actual wind and rain.
Yeah.
Yellow warnings are up for most of the country gale or storm conditions. Heavy rain. Everywhere except the northern West Fords. Lucky them.
When does this hit?
Starts this evening Thursday and carries on through Friday. So expect rivers to swell, maybe some local flooding, the usual autumn drama.
You know what? After dissecting all the bureaucratic failures and human absurdities, maybe a proper storm is just what we need. Something honest, something you can actually prepare for.
Blow away the cobwebs, perhaps. Or just add another layer of damp misery. We'll see.
So there you have it. Municipal extinction by spreadsheet, linguistic life support via AI paradox, exploitation behind cheap manicures, performative tears, and actual storms.
Just another day navigating the Icelandic condition. Thanks for tuning in to Bad Things Well Said Icelandic Newsroom.
And seriously, if you find any value or even just grim amusement in what we do, please hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. It keeps us going.
Until tomorrow, stay critical, stay informed, and maybe check on your local municipality's population count, just in case.
And perhaps read a book to a child in Icelandic.
The voices in this podcast were generated by AI. However, all information, facts, claims, concepts, and the script itself were prepared, editorially reviewed, and are the original work of a human author.